Hi, I'm Jayson with Burton Snowboards, and I'm here to show how to mount a Burton step-on setup. So, mounting a Burton step-on setup, real similar to a regular strap system, except for way easier. No straps to adjust. So, the base plates are just like our reflex base plates that we use in our straps. So we use the same discs. So yes, you can mount these on any board out there. You can get a special disc for our old 3D hole pattern, but also their new Unidisc covers boards with the channel and 4x4 hole patterns. So you can mount these on anything out there. So you pull these out of the box, you got one set of discs, you got a set of hardware. We're gonna be using the black because we're using a board with the channel. So it is a different length of hardware. So make sure when you're mounting boards with the channel, you're only using the black hardware. And again, the silver would be for 4x4 traditional inserted boards. So one thing you want to do is the boots and bindings are, there's a size chart that you have to follow. There is no more like float or kind of wiggle room. If you're, let's say, a size 11, trying to squeeze into a medium binding, in the past you could do that, but with step-on, you do have to follow those sizing guidelines. It's labeled really well on the binding. And also, on the boot, it'll tell you right on the inside of the tongue and all that. So let's say, for example, if you're a size 10.5 in a men's, you ride a medium. If you're a size 11 in a men's, you have to ride a large. So again, there's not that float, but it has to do with the connection points, essentially there. So not a big deal, but just want to point that out in case you're deciding. In case you're a size 10.5 or 11 and you're not sure which one, and you only order, you have to make sure you order the corresponding binding size. So pulling that out, so just want to start with the board inserts. These all come with the boards. It comes on the little cardboard holders there. Put those into the channel. Put the little plugs back in. Easy enough there. So then, like I was saying before, I usually just take a little screwdriver and pry that up there. It's got the little sizing chart. We can toss that to the side. And again, it's just like a regular disc setup with our reflex base plate and the hinge built into the mounting disc. So one thing with the new mounting disc is that it does have some offset holes, so you can still get the same adjustability toe and heel. It's just offset a little bit. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to be mounting them in the center position, which is where all the lines are there. So make sure you, if you're using that, you just put them on the lines. So set it up how you like. As far as your angles, some people, kind of wonder, like, what's a good starting point? I mean, if you're just starting out and you're not quite sure, I mean, usually you want to, I usually recommend anywhere from, 6 to 9 on a negative angle on the back foot, and then anywhere from, 12 to 18 on the front. That should get you kind of in the ballpark. But again, it's totally personal preference. That's just, something that I've just found seems to be a good starting place. And over the years, you just figure out what you like. So I'm going to mount my stance on this. So I got the back set there. So again, we're using the black. Got the channel lined up. We got the nice thing about the channel is it does have the stance width already built right into the reference point. So it essentially has the ruler already built right into the board. So you start at the reference point, you're at 22. Each little hash mark is a 1/2 inch. So if you want, make sure that when you're adjusting the width of them, you move them equally. Just move one, back or one forward or anything like that. Move them equally is what I highly recommend. So we'll just mount this one in the reference point. Just 2 screws. Once you get it set, really crank it down as tight as you can get it. And just some preventative maintenance, you know, I highly recommend this on any snowboard binding out there. Snowboards take a lot of vibration, so always, you know, every few times you go out, just do some preventative maintenance, grab your screwdriver, and just, you know, check the tension of all the screws. So it'll just save you a lot of heartache down the road. One of the key adjustments with step-on is the toe ramp. It does have the size ranges on the inside on where the placement of the footbed should be for the size of the boots. So this is a size 10 boot. So we want to slide this, we want to move that out. It does kind of notch in and out. We want to get that, you know, into the corresponding hole there. Pop those down. The reason why we do that is if you have the footbed like too far back, it's really going to create a lot of wedge in between like your toes, and it's going to be tougher. It's going to be harder to step in to the toe clips. You know, or on the flip side of that, if it's way too far out, you know, for the size of boot you have, it's going to go in really easy, but you're going to get a lot of, you know, extra slop and things like that in there. So get that out there. So that's really the only thing you have to, you know, be concerned about is the adjustment of the toe ramps. So once you get that all set, well, also one thing too is be mindful. It does have a little clip on here, but when you're riding these things, make sure that you're using the clip on the back. This is for your pants. So put the cuff of your pant in there, because this has to be all clear for everything to just you know, step into the mechanism. If that is covering that, you're going to wedge yourself in, and it's going to be really tough to get out. It can, you know, create some problems. So make sure you're using the clip back there. So, but yeah, otherwise everything else is pretty much set, ready to go to get out. Well, that way you can adjust the high back if you want to adjust forward lean. There is 2 screws up here that will allow you to adjust that. So you crank it in, turn it in, it will create more forward lean. It does have the designation on there, F1, F2, you know, as you crank it down, if you do like more forward lean. So, and also it does have, there is really no high back rotation with this, but they did mold the high back to be more parallel with your edge of your board anyway. So they kind of just built that right into the design, you know, for you know, basically the most common, you know, angle adjustments there. So definitely you get a lot of, you know, really good movement that way. So other than that, you know, on the front binding, if your local area requires that you have a leash, it does come with the leash. You just loop that through here. That's it there, and then all of the boots do have a little webbing clip there that you just, you know, if this was the front part there. So that all comes in there, so you're good there. I mean, so make sure you check with your local hill to see if they require leashes or not, but otherwise you're covered that way. So other than that, pretty simple, just like the rest of it is. Easy in and out, easy to mount. So that's how to mount your Burton step-ons.